The Cabinet Secretary, today represented by the Director of Education, Ms. Mwakisha, the Chancellor of our university, the chancellors from other universities present, the Governor, represented by the Deputy, the Commissioner of the County, members of Parliament present, members of councils of other universities, chairmen and all members of councils, the vice-chancellors who are present, all other representatives of the agencies. I'd like to take the opportunity as member and chairman of council to welcome you all to SEKU. Today, we are celebrating in a special way. First of all, we have matured. Last year, we had about 100 students, graduates. Today, we have 400. That is quadruple, isn't it? So we need to congratulate ourselves for that growth in a very short time. We are also very specially honored that an honorary degree, our first one, should be given to our own, Titus Naikuni. If you notice from the citation, this honorary degree was not so much because of his physical gains in chemistry, which is graduation area, but it's because of his success in what we call the softer skills, managerial skills, whether it is Makadi Soda or Kenya Airways. It is that ability to manage and inspire populations to achieve. And I've heard him a couple of times emphasize again the critical role of ethics in our corporate governance. So on that behalf, we'd like to add a special appreciation to our recipient, a special recipient of a degree, Honorable Naikuni. Before I go too far, I'd like to extend a very sincere appreciation to our students. You may not know it, but you are a very disciplined group. Those of us who attend graduations, and I've attended hundreds of them, we don't often see the kind of discipline we are seeing here. Please don't catch the fever of bad behavior that is elsewhere. I'd like to also express my appreciation on behalf of Council that in a very short period as a tertiary institution, just about 4 years or so, SEKU has made remarkable progress, not only physically in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of academic programs and student population. This progress could not have been achieved without strong support from the government, who has held our hand to get us where we are today. We are also grateful that there has been need or recognition that no society can develop without strong and heavy investment in human capital. No society can develop without investment in infrastructure. So the investment that the government has done to help us is very, very well appreciated, and we feel we are on the right course to partner with this country in its own development. I'd like to mention that in spite of those successes, quite a number of challenges remain. There is the issue of accessibility Our road still remains a challenge. And last year, the governor promised to help us on security of the road, and we can see there's quite a bit of security light infrastructure network being laid out, and we thank those who are helping us to do this. We hope that road will rise from the current murram to an all-weather tarmac status before too long. We appeal to the county government, and indeed also the national government, that though expensive, it will be well worthwhile to invest in that road so that it is accessible not only to our students but prospective investors. Water still remains a challenge to us. Although the infrastructure has been laid, we still hope that we'll have a stable run, and we are encouraged that the Tana Athi Authority, Water Authority, is helping so that the capacity of water available to our students will rise to what that tank will hold, and that's about 1 million liters, I understand. Our consumption is about 500 liters of water. So with that in place, the strain that we're going through in terms of water supply should soon be behind us. We know that we have not quite arrived in terms of laboratories, and again, we hope that the government will stay with us on this course. We thank the county government, both of Kitui, for availing land to us. The land that we sit on has been graciously handed to us, not only by those elders of Kambani, today amongst them Professor, our former Chairman of Council, Munavu, and others. We'd like to thank them for this reserve or this resource, but also thank the other governors. In Makueni, we have had a lot of support from the governor. We have been given land there, both in town in Wote and Mutitande. We also have been promised facilities elsewhere. This is the kind of partnerships between government institutions and local authorities in developing our human capital. We thank them all. Finally, in this area of resource development, I'd like to share with the students that the Council has very recently been looking at, and it will shortly be discussing the strategic plan for this university in terms of revising it to reflect current realities. We are also looking very carefully at the financial structure of the university. We have asked management to bring in a proposal on resource mobilization. In another month or two, Council will be looking at this proposal. If approved, Council expects that the structure of financing this university should change from predominantly dependence on government to diversification to strategic partners in the private sector. So we hope those of us that are present in that sector, when the call comes, you'll join with us to develop this great institution. I have a passing remark to our students, especially the graduates. Last year, I made the remark that go ye and make money, but don't let money make you. This year, my thoughts that we should share is in another domain. It is to do with the capacity that is available when we have positive minds. Recently, those of you that may have been following the media, Kenya was rated among the happiest country in Africa. In fact, we are rated number 2 to Rwanda. Have you read that? If you haven't, it is true that the Gallup organization, which does monitors around the world, did a survey, and they've done this more than once. And indeed, Kenya is number 2 in terms of human beings and their positive orientation to life. You might wonder why we would be rated number 2. With all the poverty that we see in areas such as Mathare and so on, with all the skirmishes we see amongst our political class, you may wonder why we would be rated number 2. With all the sad experiences we have gone through, you may wonder why we are rated number 2. Not only did Gallup rate us number 2, but also fairly recently, the instrument that monitors capacities of countries to attract capital have indicated that Kenya is among the top 7 countries in the world in terms of investment preference. That is not a small achievement. We have surpassed Nigeria and South Africa. Maybe we need to pat ourselves on the back that in spite of all the negative publicity in tourism, this country is making some progress. Why is it critical that we remind ourselves of this? With positive chemistry of mind, a lot of things can happen in your way or in our way. It has been demonstrated that those that have got positive minds and positive chemistry spend spend only a third of the energy that is required to solve tasks. In other words, you spend 3 times, 4 times more if you are negatively oriented. So I'd like to share with those students who are leaving today that you'll succeed best not just because you have earned your degree in chemistry or mathematics, but you succeed best because you think there is a better tomorrow because of your positive mind, positive chemistry. And with those words, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.